friends, here is our learning standard for this week. This week we are focusing on 3.9D, which is recognizing characteristics and structures of informational texts, including the central idea with supporting evidence. Now, what does that mean? That means that we are going back into the nonfiction, the informational genre, and we are going to be reviewing central idea. Now, this time we're really digging deeper into what central idea is and how we can justify what we believe the central idea of a text is with supporting evidence. So, let's get started. This is our text for this week, and the first thing that we do when we read a nonfiction text is we start by pre-reading. We survey the text and ask ourselves the question, what is this text mostly about? Now, remember that we are like text feature detectives. We are going to look at the different text features inside this text and see if we can figure out what the text is mostly about. All right, so let's go back to our read aloud for this week. I see a lot of text features here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my draw tool so I can mark some things for us to look at. First thing I notice is the title. That was weird. First thing I notice is the title, Dolphins on Duty. And I see the subtitle here. The U.S. Navy trains these super smart animals to work on life-saving missions. Now, my schema is telling me that I already know that dolphins are super smart creatures. They're problem solvers, they live in communities, they're just crazy smart. So I also see that the U.S. Navy is going to train these dolphins to help save people, maybe. And here, look at this. Here's a caption for this photograph. A dolphin in training off the coast of Hawaii. Interesting. So I guess I'm wondering, are these wild dolphins that they're training? Or do they raise them and then release them into the wild for these life-saving missions? Okay, here's a feature here. As you read, think about why dolphins were chosen to help the Navy. What qualities do they have that make them a good choice? I also see a diagram here, seeing with sound, and it kind of talks me through how echolocation works. I see this symbol here, which I'm super familiar with because I'm familiar with echolocation. So I can see a dolphin sending out sound waves and it bouncing back off of objects. I see a fact box here with some words that we need to know. And I also see some subheadings. The best of the best, on the job, reporting for duty. And I also see another fact box here, animals undercover. Check out these other unlikely animals that have been used as spies. Okay, maybe I'm thinking that something in this text is going to be talking about how sea mammals can spy for the government. Interesting. Okay, so now that I've kind of surveyed the text, I'm asking myself this question. What is the text mostly about? And I'm thinking several things. I'm thinking that this text is going to mostly be about how the U.S. Navy trains sea mammals like dolphins or a beluga whale, maybe, and how they train them to maybe spy on other countries or how they train them to save people. So that's what I think this text is mostly going to be about. Now it's time to activate my schema. What do I already know about this topic? Well, I know that dolphins are super smart animals. I know that they live in families. They take care of one another. I also know that dolphins have been known to save others, like save other species, like people even. So wild dolphins have been known to save people. They are problem solvers and they are trainable because we kind of see that sometimes. See dolphins doing tricks, stuff like that. Let me go back to the text. What else do I know about this? I know that dolphins can use echolocation to navigate the world around them. And I think that's all I'm going to mention for here right now. Now it's time to start reading. So I'm going to go back to my text and let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit. Okay, and let's start at the beginning. In April, a fishing boat was bobbing along the Arctic Ocean. As it sailed near the coast of Norway, a country in Europe, a fisherman on the boat spotted a beluga whale. The whale was wearing clips that hold a camera. Why would a whale need a camera? Could the animal be a spy? Okay, so this kind of confirms what I was talking about here. I think that maybe this text is going to talk about animals that spy for the government. Let's see. The answer just might be yes. The whale also had clips on its harness with the words St. Petersburg. That's the name of a city in Russia. Officials say this means that the whale was likely trained by the Russian military as a spy. This may seem a bit fishy, but whales, dolphins, and other marine mammals are used to help military around the world. That includes the United States military. The United States Navy Marine Mammal Program currently has more than 100 sea animals protecting our country from underwater threats. Okay, I have a wondering here. I'm wondering what could be an underwater threat? What could they be protecting us from? It's curious. Also think I'm going to highlight that piece there. Best of the best. The Navy program started in 1959. In the early years, the Navy tested out more than a dozen animals, including sharks, sea turtles, and birds. Today, just 2 species are used, bottlenose dolphins and California sea lions. I wonder if that's because they are the most intelligent. They are the smartest animals? I don't know. It's curious. And I think that that's an important thing to highlight here as well. That today they only use bottlenose dolphins and California sea lions. It's interesting. The Navy's dolphins and sea lions perform missions that the Navy cannot yet accomplish in any other way, says Mark Sichtko. He's the director of the program. Both animals are very smart and easy to train. I think this may be the answer to this question I had up here. They are smart and easy to train. It's probably why that they're used. And both can quickly adapt to different environments, like shallow waters or deep seas. Now this word adapt, I see is defined down here, but I also know what it means from the science lessons we've been doing together. Adapt means to adjust to new conditions or situations. But there are more dolphins in the program because they use echolocation. That means they use sound to see underwater. I think that this diagram here is supposed to help me understand this paragraph here. On the job, dolphins began training at the Naval Base Point Loma in San Diego, California, when they're just a few years old. Handlers show them how to look for and mark the locations of underwater explosives called mines. Mines could hurt or kill people in military ships, and they can be difficult for humans to detect. And detect means to notice or discover. Now that answers my question. These are the underwater threats that we were told about. This paragraph talks about the underwater threats that they mentioned earlier. Interesting. But it's no problem for dolphins. Using echolocation, the animals can easily see through dark, muddy waters. Plus, they can dive hundreds of feet below the surface, much farther than humans can. Trainers also teach dolphins to identify enemy swimmers. Huh, that's really interesting. I had no idea that they could do that. I'm going to highlight that because I feel like that's an important thing to notice. Identify enemy swimmers. Huh. The animals are natural hunters, said Zitko. We can just change what they learn and hunt for. Reporting for duty. In the past 40 years, Navy-trained animals have traveled to the coasts of more than a dozen countries on official missions. When they aren't on a mission, the dolphins help with security at naval bases around the world and prepare for future jobs. Oh, see, this is so cool. When they aren't on a mission, the dolphins help with security at naval bases around the world and prepare for future jobs. Different. They will be ready if they are needed, says Zitko. Navy dolphins and sea lions are always on duty. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom out and kind of get a whole overview of what we just read. We read the text, and while we were reading, we were taking notes in the margins and highlighting things that we felt were important. This is all the behaviors that we should be using when we are reading a nonfiction piece, an informational piece. It's important for our brain to be always working on what do I already know and what is new to me? And also asking ourselves the question, what is each section mostly about? So that we can get a whole picture and ask ourselves, what is this whole piece, this whole selection mostly about? Now, let's go back to our anchor charts and see what we're supposed to do next. We read the text. Now it's time for our post-reading. What information was new to us? Well, I learned a lot. One of the things that was new to me was that dolphins and sea lions are used in the program. And I also learned that they are used to protect from enemy swimmers as well as underwater bombs called mines. They are easily trained and they are used on naval bases around the world. Okay, so that is the end of our post-reading activity here. Okay, now we need to be asking ourselves the question, why did the author write the text? And more importantly, what is the central idea of the text?